Got us a Ford today, folks. 2016 variety. It's the Edge. Lady states that the brake light is flashing. And when I pulled it up here to my door, I noticed that myself. I think it says something park and brake malfunction. Yeah, park brake limited function service required. So we're gonna bring this in. We'll plug it in, see if we can't learn something. My understanding, it just randomly came on. She says she doesn't even use the park and brake. Just curiosity here. I hold my foot on the brake, we're in park. Okay, I was gonna say I pushed the park and brake. Pull up on the park and brake. That's all it tells us. We hit OK. Okay, let's grab some codes out of it. We'll wait for the scan tool to boot up and do its thing. We will get a battery maintainer out here because I'm sure we're gonna leave the key on for a little while. One code it says, or two codes I guess. Kind of odd. Usually these cars are littered full of codes. Most cars. So we have a C1034 park brake and a 2008 left motor. So that's curious. Let's just look at somebody just do a brake job because yeah, let's grab a flashlight. Yeah, front pads look like they're brand new. Wonder if somebody pad slapped it and then yanked the harness off it. Oh yeah, no, that pad's about half wore out or so. Yep, same there. Looks like somebody pad slapped the front end though. Yeah, 'cause you can see all the fresh grease and stuff there. So I just looked in scan data. This is the only data PIDs I see in ABS. This park brake request source. Default or faulty signal. That's about all I see. I'm going to take and just look up these codes. Maybe we'll throw it up on the lift in the meantime and see just visual inspection. Do we see anything obvious before we get too carried away? And then we'll look up that 2008 and that 1034, see what's going on there. But I say, yeah, let's give it a quick visual inspection. See, there's the harness and that runs. Where's that thing run? I think it runs up there to a big connector. Yeah, it doesn't look like anybody was fiddling over there. That's the right side. According to service data, they call that C1013 or 2013 code left motor circuit open. Just seeing if there's anything obvious. Yeah, it doesn't look like anybody's been fiddling. Let's peel that wheel off and see what we can do. Just peeled the wheels off. Somebody's definitely been back here in the sense that I think somebody had the tires off. This wheel on the right side that functions, this wheel came off easy. That one over there, I thought we were gonna have to get out the cutting torch to get the wheel off. Those lug nuts were wicked tight. Did get them all off. On the scan tool, I've got the park and brake actuator screen brought up where we can, you know, reset the park and brake motors. And I thought I heard this one working before I pulled the wheel off. I'm gonna let it run the test here. Yep. Okay, so we hear this motor working, but we don't hear that one over there. And what I wanna know is, the reason I pulled both wheels is because we have a good working system and we have one that doesn't. And what I wanna know is, can we use, you know, a simple test light substituted load to follow our problem if there is one. And what I was gonna do, or what I wanna do, my hope and my dream, is to unplug this actuator, if I can get to it, and then put our test light in there. Or do we find out that once we unplug the system and set a code, does it shut the system off? So I wanna learn just a couple things without spending a ton of time. So we have this unplugged. I'm going to substitute the load here. It's just a 4 amp test light. Just going to very lightly front probe it here. And then we're going to rerun this test and see, does it light the test light? Because if it does, then we know a couple things without doing a lot of looking. So I'm rerunning the test right now. Okay, so we can use our test light it's probably keeping it lit a lot longer because it's not seeing the amperage draw and seeing it clamp down. I assume that's how it's measuring it. It's only 2 wires. So let me grab the phone and then we're gonna check the other side. So you see what I'm saying there? It just makes it a bit easier to run this kind of test without really knowing how the system works 100%. Okay, so this one's unplugged. Make sure there's no obvious, wire damage here or something, which I don't see. I might see. Let me look at this other one over here real quick. Okay, that one is nice and clean. Let me move you guys here. Gotta get my face up in here. Yeah, that one pin there, what color wire is that? The blue with green stripe. That one does look pretty crusty up in there, I'm thinking. Let's grab the test light here. Let me plug this actuator back in while I'm over here so we can hear if the test is running, because that would be good to know. See that side's plugged in. Also brought a mirror. I wanted to look back up in these terminals, see what the inside of this motor looks like, if we can see in there. Make sure it's just not missing a terminal. Yeah, it does have one that's crusty. One is shiny, one is crusty. I don't know if it's made it, migrated back up into the motor or not, or maybe it's not the issue, but it's a issue. That's for sure. Let's see if we can't very lightly probe in there. Ooh, that one does feel crusty, even just lightly probing it with a needle, you can feel. All right. I'm gonna hit yes for the test. Takes a moment here. All right, so nothing there. So that's interesting. Let me just look to see if this green has migrated its way up into the back of this connector. Just out of curiosity, because it is quite crusty there. Just tip this to the side. Kind of want to tug on that wire a little bit just to see. No, it doesn't appear to yank right out, but it definitely is crusty. There's a couple more connections on the way up through. Let's go up to the next connection and test it up there. See, it doesn't look like anybody's touched any of this. Of course, everything's full of dirt as usual. Can't dig some of that out before we try to push in on that tab. Oh yeah, now somebody has been there. See these wrinkle marks? That's the same thing I just did. Let's see. Oh, I see. It won't push apart because both of these are in a holder. So let's see about. If somebody's been here. Maybe they had this undone, or maybe they got this far and gave up. There we go. Yeah, boy. Okay. There's that. That one looks pretty clean. The connectors are pretty resilient, really. Okay, that probed in nicely. I'm going to hit yes. Okay, there we go. Still waiting for this motor, so it's keeping the light on. We're going to unplug it. Okay, so that's it. We know that there is an open in this harness for sure. But the other thing is too, this motor down on the caliper is also got a green pin. And you know, what came first, chicken or the egg, I guess? Did the connector allow water intrusion and then get the motor crusty, or vice versa? Did the motor get crusty and allow its little STD to travel up the wire? Who knows? But I'm going to say wiring harness, motor assembly, and should be good to go. Called the customer, he said get after it. Ford can't have this stuff till tomorrow, which is no big deal for you guys. Or it's a new motor and the harness, both available for tomorrow. Expensive little motor, I think it was like 200 bucks, I think, or a little more even. Harness wasn't too bad though, I think around 50 or a little less, maybe 40 something. So that's not too bad. So as soon as that gets here, we'll get her put on. I wish real life worked like this. Seconds later, it's the next day. Not even seconds. Blink of an eye. You know what, before we take this all off, we better have a little gander here. Make sure that connector looks right. A couple of them little doodads. Okay, I just wanted to be sure. There's your part number. For the left side anyways, they were specific. Side to side. And if you're looking them up in the Ford catalog, they're under body and roof wiring harness. Ford is so hard sometimes to find wiring harnesses and connectors, things like that. They can put them in the weirdest spots. Their exploded views are really nice once you learn their base part number system, but man, be a little finicky. Sometimes I have to call the Ford parts department to find out where to look up a certain part. All right, what's going on, my guy? Let me get a blow nozzle. There might still be a piece of dirt or something under that latch. Try this again. There we go, yes ma'am. That was it. Must have been a little piece of something up in there. Click that one in there. Better click it back on. Wire here. They've really got this thing pretty wrapped up with like Tessa tape and all kinds of stuff. It makes the wire pretty stiff. There's that one and that one. And that kind of clicks in on this brake hose. Let's see here, let's make sure. It's going to click in there. Okay, I just don't want to snap this in here without making sure everything else is going to line up. There's that. We likely could put on the parking brake motor without removing the caliper. So I think we'll probably be better served to take the caliper off. I don't know what we have back there for bolts. It might be Torx bits. Can't tell. They kind of look like Allen's. They kind of look like Torx bits. Probably both will work. When we get something, we'll peel that off. I think it's Torx bits that hold the motor on. I think, if I remember right, in the diagram it shows that it came with new ones. So there's your part number on your motor for your left side here anyways. We have an O-ring. And I think some bolts. We have 2 bolts, O-ring, and a special package of goo. Contains fatty acids, condensation product of fatty acids, tall oil with 2 amino and 2 ethyl propyl. May cause skin reaction. Wow. Sounds like some good stuff. All right, emergency phone number on there and everything. Sweet. Free candy. And then let's have a look at the motor. all bubble wrapped up. Remember when parking brakes used to be run by cable? Not anymore, lady. So there's that. And there's that. Okay, not a big deal. Let's rip and tear. We're going at it with T45. Oh, we were going the right way, I guess. There's that one. We'll get the bottom one here. This style here, you kind of got to push the pins out. They're not threaded all the way to the end, so they don't come out all the way. They can be a little deceiving. There we are. Should be able to slip this baby right on up. Oh, we just dropped our pad. And then we need to go get whatever Torx bit fits those. Drop our inner pad back in there. Let's make sure this outer one's probably stuck on there. Yep, we'll leave that right alone. Got another Torx bit with us. Let's see, is the right one? Whoa, way too big, fella. That's a 40. These look like probably a 30 if I was a gambling man. See if we can make a T30 fit. Fits perfect. There's one bolt. There's bolt number 2. See how stuck it is, if we can just give it a wiggle here. There she is, boys. Yeah, she's pretty crusty on that pin. I don't know, it may have worked, but I just didn't want to stick a new terminal or a new wiring harness on there with the corrosion growing on that pin in there. Because if it is down inside the motor assembly, it's just going to continue to migrate right back up that harness. So take this O-ring off. And we'll wire wheel this up a little bit. We'll get some of the crap off here. I don't know if this is a special glue that goes on the O-ring and such. German or whatever language it is. I can't read any foreign language, so it doesn't really matter. Let's have a look, see what it looks like. If it looks like this gooey stuff. It says Kluber lubrication. That's all I know. Some kind of lube. Alright, well, I'm gonna look in service data to see if it requires any lube. We'll clean up some of this crap. Yep, service data says the supplied grease is for the O-ring. Says to clean out the groove and apply the grease. Seems like an appropriate time to use this. Oh gosh. Look at this guy. Oops. Perfect. Screw that. We'll get the toxic grease. Lube up the O-ring with it. For instructions, we'll smear a little extra on there for good measure. Make sure she's sealed up with that. Bigger the glob, better the job, they say. Oh yeah. Now she's slippery, we can put a little there. Let's see which way did this thing go. She went this direction. She went this direction. I'll give her a wiggle. Now she's all lined up. Of course, we're gonna have to go through the little calibration procedure there. Oh, these are Allen's. They changed them. Well, truth be told, they probably didn't change them. It's just I didn't realize that they were Allen's and beat a torque spit them, because when they're all rusty, well, that's what they look like. We'll torque that to factory spec. Torque that one to factory spec. Spin our caliper back around. Push our pins back in. Slip that little guy back in there. Get our pins started here very gingerly. You have to be careful with this style pin on these. And the ones they use, like they use the same one on Dakota. I think it's like a 9mm thread. You don't want to go frigging them up. Chances are nobody around you has a 9mm helicoil. So there's that. We'll finish clicking this thing in all the way. Let me raise it up so we can see what we're doing. I thought it would help you, but it clearly doesn't, because I can barely see the little guy. So before we click the remaining Christmas tree retainer on there, I think it's going to be easier to get it plugged in. See if I can't, I'm just looking up through the spring hole here. Okay, that baby's plugged in. And then that last retainer went right there. So that's it. She's in. We're in. We're great. Let's go see. I've got the Altel plugged in. I don't have it booted up yet, but let's take and turn the key on. See if it still throws the fault. Alright, good. So we still got the parking brake fault. Yeah, there we go. Service now. So let's go ahead and go to the scan tool here. See what ABS we were in yesterday. Let me get a poking apparatus. We'll just see what we have. Here, let's go, actually let's back out. Let's go to hot functions, because that's where we were. Is that where we were? No, we weren't. We were in service, sorry. And then we're gonna be chassis, and braking, integrated parking brake, apply and release. Okay, let's go see if this works. Alright, good. So we could hear that working, which we knew it was gonna. Function complete. Function is now exiting. Yesterday it would say function incomplete. Would you like to try again? Alright, so we'll back out of there. Back out of there, back out of there again. And again, no, we don't want to exit. We'll go to control unit and we'll clear the codes out of the ABS, and then we should be good to go. After that, I'm guessing. I'm getting rid of the snap on that Barris that was sitting here forever. Oh, look at that, there's no more codes. It's just been sitting here taking up space, and it's time to sell it. I never ever use it. Okay, let's go see if everybody's happy inside the car now. So I heard a lot of dinging going on in there. Full power accessory active. Let me see if I can get inside the car. Nope, I can't. Not until I set it down, but we'll put the parking brake on. Oh, I don't think I can release it. No, I can't until I step on the brake. Yep, okay, well, no big deal. We know it works now. Let me throw the wheels on it. We'll make sure for sure. For sure. Almost got away. We've been out there laying in the dirt. It's just these little covers that go on the ends of the caliper pin boots. It keeps dirt from getting in there. I always take care of my tools before I pull a car out. I saw them on my cart. My memory's not real good, is it? I saw the customer's note. I'm doing an oil change too. Now, I just put it in reverse. Now, technically, if we let off the brake, it should stay, but as soon as we touch the gas, it should go. And it did. Okay. Now we can reapply it. And just kicked on. Put it in drive. Touch the gas. And reapply it. Alright. Well, I guess I gotta put lift back under it because I'm a ding dong. I'll let it sit out here and warm up for just a minute. So I guess that's it for now, folks. It was a pretty easy system to diagnose without really getting into the theory and operation not too heavily. We're able to go back there with a simple, humble test light. You know, it's a big motor back there. I assume it measures current draw to calculate, you know, applied and release. I don't know that for a fact, but I'm sure if we read through service data, that's what we'd find. It seems to be the only thing that would make sense to me. I mean, there's only 2 wires on it. You know, it's not like it has a rotational or position type sensor. So I assume it's, you know, current limiting of some sort to determine whether or not it's applied. So that's it. Why don't you guys apply yourself right in that comment section? Questions, comments, concerns, Insta, the Facebook. And just remember, viewers, if I can do it, you can do it. Thanks for watching.